Hello guys, and welcome back to another cold episode. On today's episode, we have a lot to talk about in terms of new updates. First of all, new Blue Eyes support. Now, this stuff that I'm currently looking at is not new, but I did want to go over it because of something that I'll talk about later. But there's new Blue Eyes support, 2 new sets, and this is the new stuff. We got a few new cards announced. But more importantly, we got a new selection pack, which is quite notable, which is more so what I wanted to talk about, because there are 2 archetypes in here that I specifically want to make mention of. The first being Raid Raptor. Now, Raid Raptor in the TCG didn't really do anything, but it did receive a whole bunch of support, and it is something to make note of. I think it'll be similar in nature to something like Centurion, where it's not going to be, like, insane by any stretch of the imagination, but at the very least, it will be interesting, and it will be something that you could potentially build and do fairly well with, right? It's a pretty cool archetype, and it has some pretty cool combos. So there's that. The second thing that I want to mention is Voiceless Voice. Now, Voiceless Voice in the TCG never did anything. It never went anywhere, and it has yet to go anywhere. And I think the main reason for this is due to the fact that Snake Eyes has not really been disrupted, right? It is still at full power. It even just got Fiendsmith, which made it even more powerful. However, prior to the Fiendsmith stuff coming out, just prior to the Fiendsmith stuff coming out, as well as a whole bunch of other decks that could also compete with the Fiendsmith Snake Eye, this deck was the second best deck. Before Tenpai, before Branded started doing well again, before all sorts of those other decks as well. This was the deck to look out for. And the thing is, it's still very good. While it has fallen off a bit in the TCG, it hasn't even shown up in Master Duel. Now, with that being said, I think this is a deck that can genuinely take the top spot for best deck in Master Duel. And the reason for that is twofold. 1, we have a significantly weaker Snake Eyes, which means a lot of decks are now more able to compete with something like that. And 2, it plays around Maxi so very well. Like, insanely well. It summons, like, 3 times. Which means even doing the full combo, you're getting, like, 2 draws to your opponent. You know? Which is, a bit of an issue, but it's not that big of a deal. Right? So, overall, I think that this deck has a lot more potential in Master Duel. Okay? So keep that in mind. There's a few other things in here as well. Like, we have, this guy. And, we have Hedgehog. That's the best. We rescue Hedgehog. Look at it. Look at my boy. Look at him go. He's so cute. But yeah, that's kind of it. Also, it's a UR, which is tragic. So there's that. But I do really quickly want to talk about the Blue Eyes support. Now, they received 4 cards in their first wave, and they are receiving 3 new ones as well. Now, all of this is theoretically going to be in a structure deck. So we're receiving a whole new structure deck. In the OCG, at the very least, they are receiving that. And it's a Blue Eye structure deck. So we have yet to actually see it come out. So we don't actually know how well these are going to be. Or at least how well they will compete with the rest of the metagame. So, there's that. But real quick, we're just going to go over these. This card is very, very good. Maiden of White. It's a light level 1 spellcaster tuner, which is pretty nice. Hard once per turns on its effects. You can send it to the graveyard to place a True Light, just face up, which is really, really good from anywhere. Except for Banish, technically. And then if you special summon a Blue Eyes while this card is in your graveyard, you could special summon it. So, notably, it gets the thing that summons a Blue Eyes to your field, and then summons itself back to allow you to make a level 9, right? And if you don't know, Spirit Dragon is a level 9, which is very, very useful. So there's that. And then when a card or effect is activated that targets this card, you can special summon a Blue Eyes, or a level 1 Light Tuner from your grave. Cool, great. Has recursion, has the ability to kind of like protect itself. Very good card, similar to Maiden with Eyes of Blue, I believe. So there's that. Very good card, solid. I don't think there's any way to search it, but it basically does the entire combo by itself, kind of. Next up, we have Prayers with Eyes of Blue, which is a normal spell that hard once per turn on its effects. Discard 1 card to add a level 1 Light Tuner, and a spell trap that mentions Blue Eyes. Blue Eyes White Dragon from your deck to your hand. Now, forgot this card. I mean, Obviously, this search is made in white, but it can search out a myriad of other cards as well. Most notably, it could even search out the stones, which you could then pitch to the graveyard to potentially draw 2. So, really good effect. Because it also searches 2 cards. So you discard a card to search 2 cards. Fantastic support. Right? This could search the myriad of spell traps that Blue Eyes has. Most notably, Bingo Machine Go, which does allow you to search out Blue Eyes White Dragon. So, you now have a way to search out Blue Eyes White Dragon, which is great. And then on top of that, you can banish it from the graveyard to target a Blue Eyes White Dragon you control, equip a Blue Eyes monster from your extra deck to it as an equip spell that gives it 400 attack. The equip spell I don't think is all that useful, but like you can kind of do stuff with this. It's mostly for this first effect that it's really, really good. Next up, we have Saga, which is a normal spell that's hard once per turn on its effect. A hard once per turn. You can only use one of its effects per turn. You can special summon a Blue Eyes from deck, grave, or banish in defense position, but you can only special summon Blue Eyes White Dragon with this effect if you do not control it. So just special summon one of your Blue Eyes if you don't already have it. Now, notably, this does lock you for the rest of this turn. For the rest of the turn, you can only special summon dragons from the extra deck. Don't know why that was so hard for me to say. So there's that. However, notable, you could use this in Dragon Link, just like generically, to just get a guy, which is pretty good. Like just a free level 8 light dragon monster, which is very funny. So thought I'd mention that. And then you can also banish it to fusion summon a fusion monster from your extra deck, including a Blue Eyes monster, which is great. So all in all, very solid. And then we have the most notable card from these new cards, which is the level 12 Light Dragon Synchro Monster, Blue Eyes Spirit Ultimate Dragon. Now, if you don't know, you can cheat this out multiple times. Because of Spirit Dragon, sorry, I was looking up a different card. Spirit Dragon. Once again, if we actually look at Spirit Dragon, it does say, during either player's turn, you could tribute this Synchro Summoned card to special summon a Light Dragon-type Synchro Monster from your extra deck. Now, what might this be? Oh, a Light Dragon Synchro-type monster. Well, Synchro Dragon-type monster. Same thing, right? Great. So you don't even have to summon it with 2 tuners and 1 non-Blue Eyes, or non-tuner Blue Eyes monster. You could, but you also don't have to. So there's that. And what it says is your opponent cannot banish cards from your grave. Cool. Called by doesn't exist. That's great. Not that big of a deal, but that is pretty good. Also, hard once per turn on these next 2 effects. When a card or effect is activated, quick effect, negate, and then this card gains 1,000 attack. Cool. Cool. Now, notably, this is a hard once per turn negate. So having a second one of this doesn't matter. However, it does have another effect where if it's destroyed, you get to special summon a Light Dragon monster from your grave, except itself. Which is pretty nice. It just recurs the Spirit Dragon to potentially tag out into another one, or tag out into the other card that this can tag out into, which is Crimson Dragon. There it is. Crimson Dragon, which is also a Light Dragon type Synchro Light Dragon type Synchro monster. So, that's notable. So you could actually technically make 2 of these. However, you could also just use the Crimson Dragon to tag out into Cosmic Blazar, or Red Nova, or whatever it may be. So, that's very useful. Just very, very solid cards. Now, let's look at the new cards, which I have yet to have seen. So, this is all new to me. So, we have the 3 new cards. I would imagine we're not getting any more new cards for Blue Eyes, unless... Yeah, I would imagine there's not going to be any new cards, but I do imagine the structured decks is going to come with, like, Blue Eyes and stuff like that. So, probably good value, and most notably, we're trying to figure out if it's going to be meta or not. So, we have the 3 new cards. We have a Neo Kaiser Seahorse, which is a level 4 Light Dragon Tuner effect monster, which is weird because Kaiser Seahorse is not a dragon normally, but interesting. Level 4 Light Dragon Tuner effect monster, which is okay. Wonder why that is. That's such a good... Immediately this card is good. Just this right here makes this card good. However, it gets more. 1700 attack and 1650 defense. You can only use the first, second, and third effect of this card's name once per turn. If you control a Blue Eyes White Dragon, special summon this card from your hand. That's crazy. That's an inherent summon as well, I believe. No, I do believe it starts a chain. No, forget I said that. No, I think... No, yeah, that is an inherent summon. No. It says you can. I don't know. I can never read these correctly. Let me know down below in the comments if this starts a chain or if it's an inherent summon. Beside the point, you can target a light tuner you control, increase or decrease its level by 1. You could include this card as well, which is now another way to summon the guy we were just looking at. This guy, right here. Yeah, you could modulate the level of that card, bring its level down 1. And then with a level 1 tuner, the level 3, and then the level 8, you boom, make that guy. So you now have an ability to more realistically make the big guy without cheating him. Are you going to ever do that? Probably not, but there you go. Now if you need to like Monster Reborn it, you can. If this card is sent from the field to the grave, you can send a Blue Eyes monster or a monster that mentions Blue Eyes White Dragon from your deck to your grave. Wow, that's crazy. Oh, that's really, really useful. This allows you to now send the stone, I believe. Whether that is White Stone of Legend or White Stone of Ancients, you could send either one. You could send Maiden, the one we just talked about. If you just use this guy as synchro material, you could also just link him off for something. So that's crazy. That's really, really good. Holy crap, that's really good. Okay. Wild. Okay. Next up, we have Majesty of Dragon with Dragons of White, which is a normal trap, where you can use the first and second effects of this card's name once per turn. You can show up to 3 Blue Eyes White Dragons from hand, face-up field, and/or grave, then destroy that many cards your opponent controls. That is a hilariously good effect. Holy, that is good. That is very, very good. Wild. Yeah, this is just like a better Ritual Beast Steeds. Then destroy that many cards your opponent. It's non-targeting as well. It does not target. You just reveal and then pop. Wild. You can also banish it on the same turn that you use that previous effect. To ritual summon a ritual monster from your hand by tripping Blue Eyes White Dragon from hand and or field. Sorry, hand or field, whose total level is exactly equal to the level of that ritual monster. Okay. Sorry, I was trying to figure out if there was a way to get a level 16 cost for a monster, and I do not know if there is a way to do that for a ritual summon. Just be like, oh, I'm going to ritual summon this guy, but he's actually 16 levels, and I just don't think that that's a thing. Anyway, beside the point. Yeah, this is both of these are really, really fantastic, mostly due to the fact that being able to get a ritual monster to your side of the field is pretty good if you can do it basically for free. Also, you can technically search, I believe, with some of the other effects. You can search out the Chaos Max, which now just allows you to summon the Chaos Max, just like that, for free. So that's really, really good. Yeah, I would imagine you'd also be able to search this trap. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, this searches it. Yeah. Add a spell trap that mentions Blue Eyes White Dragon. Hey, this mentions Blue Eyes White Dragon. Would you look at that? And they got a Link one. Smile. This is Spirit with Eyes of Blue, which is the Link Light Dragon effect monster with 300 attack, and it has a weird arrow to the left. It requires 1 level 4 or lower dragon or spellcaster monster. This will be abused. This is an insanely good card immediately. Immediately. It is a Link 1 for level 4 or lower dragon or spellcaster monsters. That's really good. Unless on summon, like it locks you in some capacity. Yes, it does. Oh, notably, you are locked into dragons. Oh no. Dragon Link just got another Link 1. Heaven forbid. And it points down. Yeah, this card's pretty good already. I don't care about the rest. This is already a good card. And then if it is Link Summon, you can take out a Mausoleum of White from your deck and either add it to your hands or send it to the grave, which is really good if we don't know. Mausoleum of White. I can't type. This card's not, like, crazy. Eventually it'll show up. But it is a decently good card. During your main phase, you can normal summon a level 1 light tuner in addition to your normal summoner set. Great. You normal summon a guy, you go into this guy, you grab the Mausoleum of White, you slap down this guy. Now you have another guy that you just normal summon. Great. Fantastic. And then on top of that, once per turn, you can target a face-up monster you control, send a normal monster from your hand or deck to the graveyard. If you do, the targeted monster gains attack and defense equal to the yada yada. Doesn't really matter. You're putting a guy into the graveyard, which is pretty important. It allows you to get, like, Jet Dragon online as well, which is pretty notable. But yeah, you just get to freely dump your Blue Eyes White Dragon, which you could then potentially bring back with the what's it called? True Light, that you just put face up onto your field with Maiden. So that's pretty good. So you could just send the guy, send Blue Eyes, bring him back. Hey, that Blue Eyes was then just special summoned, which now you can special summon this guy, and there you go. She's now full combo, like, by herself. Actually, I should say, this is full combo by itself. Because you grab the tuner, you grab the spell trap, and then you're off to the races. So that's pretty interesting. And then you can also tribute this card to special summon a Blue Eyes monster from your hand or grave, but if you special summon an effect monster from your grave, it cannot attack. Also, its effects are negated. Good to know. Notably, that does not include from hand. So if you were to special summon a Blue Eyes monster from hand, you could still technically use its effects. However, I don't know how many Blue Eyes monsters there are that count themselves as Blue Eyes monsters in hand. There's a bunch that count themselves as Blue Eyes on in grave. There's very few that count themselves as Blue Eyes in hand. So I don't know how much that would actually do, but this is very interesting. Look out for the Lithium video on this with the new support. And honestly, I genuinely believe that this deck is going to be very good. Now, I will say, I'm excited for this. As someone who... I'm not actually, like, that big of a fanboy of Blue Eyes. I don't play it a whole bunch. But, like, I do enjoy Blue Eyes White Dragon. I think it's a very cool card. However, this is fantastic for the game of Yu-Gi-Oh! First of all, with these cards, Blue Eyes will at the very least be good. I don't know if it'll be top tier, but at the very least, it will be a deck that is not going to be clowned upon. It will actually have plays. All of these cards are good cards. This is a good card. 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 The list goes on, right? These are all fantastic cards. They allow you to do a lot more with the archetype as well, instead of just hope and pray that Chaos Max is your win condition. Or, like, you know, play Dragon Link, but with, like, worse cards, or something along those lines, right? This really identifies Blue Eyes as its own archetype and as a good archetype, which is great. Because if you don't know, Pokemon has had Charizard basically be a meta deck for the entirety of its existence, basically. And that deck always is, like, super highly represented. People love that deck, right? People love Charizard, right? And Blue Eyes is literally just the Charizard of Yu-Gi-Oh! So it being top tier is good for the game. It will get more people invested into the game, it will excite people to want to play Yu-Gi-Oh! And it will make them more just overall interested in not just the anime, but the actual card game itself. Which is great, because not that Yu-Gi-Oh! Necessarily needs it, it's still extremely large, but, like, it's cool. It's really cool. And honestly, the deck is not terrible. It doesn't look boring or anything like that. It's pretty exciting. So I'm super excited for this archetype, and yeah, that's basically all that I have to say. Big news. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Hope that you guys did enjoy it. If you did, I like it very much, so appreciate it, and remember to always stay frosty. Bye-bye. Shout out to the Frost Guard, my members. Thank you guys so much for the support, and I hope you enjoy the content.